Looks like a beat. Nike earnings per share, 69 cents. That was better than analysts were expecting. Revenue also a beat, 9.7 billion. Analysts were looking for revenues about 9.4 billion. So that marks an increase in revenues, better than expected. Everyone was watching North America here because investors who were bullish on the stock wanted to see growth, and they got it. North American revenues up 3%, better than expected. Gross margins also come in higher, 44.7%. That was seen as a positive. And Nike, interestingly, is announcing a $15 billion share buyback program, perhaps also being reflected in the after-hours session. Look, the bar was set pretty high for Nike coming into this report. It's one of the best performers in the Dow so far this year, up more than 14%. And so the investors were looking for that beat in North America, which they seem to have gotten. A reminder that futures orders, which is an indication of what Nike expects from different geographies going forward, comes out in the call now. That's a little bit of a change. They want to emphasize they're doing more direct to consumer instead of to the stores. And also the guidance comes out in the call. Sam Poser's with us, and Susquehanna covers Nike. What do you think of these results so far? Looks like a better report and a surprise buyback.
Yeah, I mean, they are saving a lot of money from the taxes. I mean, they came in at a 6.4% tax rate, so we'll probably have to get some color on that, on how much that added to the earnings. But, I mean, clearly they're benefiting from the tax program, and they are using that money for buybacks. I mean, I still want to hear what they have to say about the long-term growth in North America and if they can really drive it up into that mid-single-digit rate, which is what we need to see. And as we look for more details on the direct-to-consumer and wholesale business in North America, I mean, I think that's really going to be telling as to how that balance is going to work.
Converse is small. Revenues were down 14%. I think the other interesting thing for the call will be the commentary around China, which continues to grow double digit. Hasn't been in the trade wars. Footwear and apparel hasn't really been a focus for tariffs on either side. But if things escalate, that could clearly be a concern. And that's been such a growth spot for Nike. It's now more than 10% of revenues. Yeah,
I mean, look, I think that we've had a lot of conversations of late about the tariffs. I mean, footwear's taxed, the tariffs are average around 11%, while if you look at some of the more tech items, they're taxed at 0. So the laying on of another tariff on top of that would be quite something. And the majority of the tariff conversation seems to be focusing around IP more than shoes. So
Greater China revenue, just to bring the numbers, 35% growth.
Mike, to what extent has Nike really nailed it itself this year versus broader U.S. consumer kind of fighting back?
Actually, if you look back to October, I mean, the stock is up some 40% off those lows. It seemed like investors kind of just bought into the program. They felt like there was an inflection point coming with regard to North America, and to the point where the valuations really rebuilt itself too. I mean, Sam, I wonder what you think it builds in terms of future years' growth. Obviously, they're supposed to return in the coming fiscal year to a double-digit earnings growth rate.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think they could do that. I think we're going to hear what they have to say about the FX headwinds that could put a little bit of a kibosh on that. They gave a little preliminary look at how they anticipated earnings growth, but that's definitely going to change on the earnings call.
Sam, how important is the Soccer World Cup? We've got a little graphic here in terms of
Nike. A basketball company.
Nike's, yeah, well, sure, basketball. But give my one attempt to link the World Cup back to business. They started with 10 teams in the tournament. They've already lost 5 of them. Adidas 11, but they've still got 8 left. So they might have won the earnings announcement today with a nice jump, but losing the World Cup so far. Does it matter? Germany's out for Adidas?
I think that they do a very good grassroots marketing campaign at the World Cup and at the Olympics for that matter, while Adidas is a banner sponsor for the World Cup. I think it really depends on where you think the focus is, and I think the closer to the consumer you are, the better, and we've seen that from the Nigerian jerseys and stuff.
Those are so cool.
Which, I can't
believe you didn't ask me about soccer. So here's my take. So Germany's already, so Adidas is already discounting the Germany uniforms.
Yeah.
Adidas is on all the actual soccer balls. It's an official sponsor of the World Cup. Nike, though, apparently is seeing less discounts. That's according to Thomson Reuters analytics
and in
on
today's
some of its
game,
jerseys and stuff.
Belgium, Adidas.
They have England too, right?
England, Nike. So that's a shame. But both teams remain in it. So England and Nike could still win it. We'll have to wait and see.
Sam, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
On this breaking earnings.
So Nike nicely up there, over 4% after hours.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.